Welcome back to the Tennessee Frugal Craftsman. It's a big day here on the property. I have finally got my planer set up. Ran my first couple boards through just to see if it's working, and it seems to be working fine. Also got all my roller tables set up. So I'm going to give you a quick overview of what I've done, and I'm glad you're with me today. Let's have a look. Now, the very first thing you'll notice is I've got a stack of boards up here, and you may be wondering why I'm running boards through. I'm going to use these for working, like boarding in stuff, and so I want to make sure everything is fairly consistent because I'm going to put siding on it over the top of it, but I want to make sure that everything is got at least one smooth side. I probably won't plane both sides, but plane the worst side and move on. As you can see here, I'll just kind of give you a scope down, or give you a panorama view of it. I have got 4 8-foot units. As you saw me, I was working on those in my last video. And so yesterday I come out and set everything up. Again, this is all my own lumber, so I haven't got, right now, other than buying my plane, I've got about 60 bucks in my whole setup here. And so what I did is tried to level everything as close as possible across. I set my that workbench right there where the planer is just a little higher than the back of my truck, my tailgate, and that's so I can just slide that off. At the end of the day, I've just got to screw down, slide it into the back of my truck. Of course, I can't lift. That thing is 92 pounds, and so I don't want to lift on it. I just slide it, pull it along. And so we'll have a look at it here. This will allow me to do about a 17 foot piece. It'll all be all laying right on that, so I can do my 2x10s and stuff, and it's not going to put any pressure on the plane as far as when it comes in and out. The rollers themselves, whether they're going to roll or not, I don't know, but they'll definitely allow the wood to slide a lot easier, so you're not having to worry about stuff binding. So the boards, the 2 boards, I put a couple boards through here. It was actually no problem at all. They just buzzed right through, and there doesn't look to be hardly any snipe, anything noticeable at all. Now, what I have as far as setup, these are 4 inches thick, as you can see, and the actual planer itself is running about, get out of the shadows here, the planer itself is about 2.5 inches or so. And so the rollers are set down in, as you can see, a good 1/2 inch or so, 5/8 down. And so what I did is I opened up, cranked my planer open, like widened it, the opening, and then ran my 6-foot level right through, and just put in some shims here, screwed them down, and so now this is level with this, so it'll come right in and out. And as you can see, I've only got about 1.5 inches, 3 3/4 there. Got a little bit more here, about 3 inches, and so it allows the everything to run right through it smoothly. The planer shavings, I'm just going to let it fly out here. When it starts building up, I'll scrape them up and bag them or burn them or whatever. I'm not exactly sure yet. Just depends on how much material I get. I know there's going to be a lot as I get planing. I've got 8 feet of pallet there ready to stack my boards. I'm not going to sticker them. They've been stickered now, as you can see over there. That pile's been stickered for probably 4 or 5 months now. I started cutting those back in October, and this is June. And so for now, I'm just going to stack them dry and then put something over, like a piece of plastic over, so they don't get too wet. Because eventually I want to actually dip everything. I'm going to run them through a chemical before I actually use them, and so that's going to be the next procedure. Now, one of the other important things that's happened today. I actually have power on the property, but it's not power as far as coming from the actual hydro. Excuse me. What I actually have, you can see here, I purchased this generator, it's been about 1.5 years ago before, excuse me, before I bought the property, just to have around the house. And I wanted to make sure that, you know, if power went out, I had something to run the deep freeze in the refrigerator. So I picked this up through, I think it was the Bass Pro Shop. I think only paid about $300 or so for $300 or so for it. Glad I purchased it now, because this is what's actually running my planer. I've got a short extension cord on it there. Originally I was just going to back the truck right up and just plug it direct, but this seems to be working okay. I'm going to keep an eye on it, make sure it doesn't overheat. Now this has 4,450 starting watts and 3,550 running watts. Now most of those planers I think run about 3,500 watts. Don't quote me on that. I think you can Google this. About 3,500 startup watts, and then they run at about 900 or so. And so I'm going to see how that works. It seems to be handling the planer well enough. I was a little concerned about whether it would. And so, yeah, we got everything pretty much ready to go. Like I said, you can see here the way I set up my table. The table itself, and again, you may want to do this at whatever height, but this is right here. It's quite low on me, so I can just kind of easily set stuff up here without actually having to bend down, so I can take it off really easily, especially with my back. So this height is about 35.5, 36 inches here. I'll show you what I have. Get this out here a little bit more. Just give me a second. Hard to do this with one hand. So yeah, this one is about 34 inches. Now, because I leveled it down here on this end, the level of the ground dropped off here a bit. I'm at about 37. And then I put those, step back here so you can see this, put those cross braces just to hold the base of the legs. Put some supports there on the bottom to hold the spacing. When I get doing the heavier stuff, I find that I need to brace, put braces down this way on the back side there, just to kind of stabilize it. I will, but right now this seems to be working perfectly fine. And so I'm going to get it set up here, everything running, and I'm going to continue this video to show you how it looks in action. What I've done is I brought over about 2.5 lifts off my big stack of 8-foot boards, 8s and 6s and 4s and whatnot. So I've got 2 lifts over here, so I'm going to see how long it takes me to go through those 8 lifts, or so those 2 lifts, and that can kind of give me an idea how long it's going to take me to do that pile of boards. And so I will come back here in a minute. Okay, I've got my generator running. Okay, first impressions. Couple things I've got to fix. Obviously, because these are different widths here and there, I have to keep adjusting my roller. So I'm trying to keep the boards right around 7/8, 13/16 of an inch, just so I can get those nice and smooth finishes. Overall, as you see, I did about 8 boards there in no time, but I do have to fix one little thing. It's right here where my things come together. This is sticking out 1/8 of an inch, and some of my boards are catching on that, so I'm going to have to just kind of snipe that a bit. But other than that, everything is, as you can see, is working great. Doesn't seem to be causing my generator to labor, and I can go through a stack pretty quickly. So I'll come back and we'll do a little bit more of the video in a bit. Well, it is now 10 after 3. I got rained out, but I did want to finish this video, and so I'll show you how I pack this thing. You can see here the generator fits nicely in the back of the truck, and the actual planer slides in beside it, so I can bring it home with me. Lock it up. I'll try to do another video sometime next week with the planer running more. I did about probably 1/4 of that pile, maybe close to, maybe even 1/3. Excuse me. So I can do the equivalent of about 2 sheets of plywood in about 20 to 25 minutes. So, you know, as far as the board area, so what, 32 board feet, 64. So probably do close to 100, 120 an hour. Board feet of 1-inch boards. And so, yeah, I just wanted to finish up and let you know what's going on, and be looking forward to another video maybe tomorrow. I guess tomorrow, Saturday, perhaps Saturday or maybe Monday. And so always appreciate you joining me, and until next time, you have a great day, and please like and subscribe.